From translation, Net New English Translation, this 213 day of the year, today we are reading passages, Isaiah 18-22, Isaiah chapter 18, verses 1-7. Look. The swift messengers travel abroad, the envies of a nation tall and smooth, of a people feared far and near, a strong and aggressive nation, whose land is divided by rivers. Go, you swift messengers, to a nation tall and smooth, to a people feared far and near, to a strong and aggressive nation, whose land is divided by rivers, whose messengers go by sea in papyrus boats over the water. All you who live in the world, who dwell on the earth, will see a signal flag raised on the mountains. You will hear a trumpet being blown. For this is what the Lord has told me. I will wait and watch from my place, like scorching heat produced by the sunlight, like a cloud of mist in the heat of harvest. For before the harvest, when the flower has faded and the bud becomes a ripening grape, he will cut off the shoots with pruning knives. He will remove the branches and chop them off. They will all be left to the birds of prey that live on the mountains and to the wild animals. The birds will eat them in the summer, and the wild animals will eat them in the winter. At that time tribute will be brought to the Lord who leads armies, by a people tall and smooth, by a people feared far and near, a strong and aggressive nation, whose land is divided by rivers, to Mount Zion, the place where the Lord who leads armies resides. Isaiah chapter 19, verses 1-25. Look, the Lord rides on a swift cloud and is coming to Egypt. The idols of Egypt tremble before him. The Egyptians lose their courage. I will provoke civil strife in Egypt. Brothers will fight with one another, neighbors with one another, cities with one another, kingdoms with one another. The Egyptians will panic, and I will confuse their strategy. They will seek guidance from the idols and from the spirits of the dead, from the pits used to conjure up underworld spirits, and from the magicians. I will hand the Egyptians over to a cruel master. A powerful king will rule over them, says the sovereign master, the Lord who leads armies. The water of the sea will dry up, and the river will become dry and parched. The rivers will stink, the canals of the Nile will become dry and parched, the reeds and rushes will wither. The reeds by the Nile, by the mouth of the river, and all the fields sown along the Nile will wither, blow away, and be no more. The fishermen will mourn, all those who cast a fishhook into the river will lament, and those who spread nets on the water will despair. Those who work with flax will be dismayed, and those who weave white linen will be discouraged. The pillars of Egypt will crumble. All the wage earners will be grief-stricken. The officials of Zoan are mere fools. Pharaoh's wise counselors give stupid advice. How can you say to Pharaoh, I am one of the sages, one well-versed in the writings of the ancients? Where are your wise men now? Let them tell you and reveal what the Lord who leads armies has in mind for Egypt. The officials of Zoan have been duped. The officials of Memphis are deluded. The tribal leaders of Egypt have led it astray. The Lord has poured into them a spirit of confusion. They have led Egypt astray in everything that it does, like a drunkard staggers and vomits. There is no one Egypt can turn to, neither head nor tail, neither branch of palm nor reed. On that day the Egyptians will be like women. They will tremble and fear because the Lord who leads armies raises his hand against them. The land of Judah will terrify Egypt. Whenever they mention Judah, they will fear because of what the Lord who leads armies has in store for them. On that day there will be 5 cities in the land of Egypt that speak the language of Canaan and swear loyalty to the Lord who leads armies. One of the cities will be called the City of the Sun. On that day there will be an altar to the Lord in the middle of the land of Egypt, as well as a sacred pillar dedicated to the Lord at its border. It will be a sign and a witness to the Lord who leads armies in the land of Egypt. When they cry out to the Lord because of oppressors, he will send them a deliverer and defender who will rescue them. The Lord will reveal himself to the Egyptians, and they will acknowledge the Lord's authority at that time. They will present sacrifices and offerings. They will make vows to the Lord and fulfill them. The Lord will strike Egypt, striking and then healing them. They will turn to the Lord, and he will hear their prayers and heal them. On that day there will be a highway from Egypt to Assyria. The Assyrians will visit Egypt, and the Egyptians will visit Assyria. The Egyptians and Assyrians will worship together. On that day Israel will be the 3rd member of the group, along with Egypt and Assyria, and will be a recipient of blessing in the earth. The Lord who leads armies will pronounce a blessing over the earth, saying, Blessed be my people, Egypt, and the work of my hands, Assyria, and my special possession, Israel. Isaiah chapter 20, verses 1-6. In the year the supreme commander, sent by King Sargon of Assyria, captured Ashdod, the Lord spoke through Isaiah son of Amoz. Go, remove the sackcloth from your waist, and take your sandals off your feet. He did as instructed and walked around naked and barefoot. Then the Lord said, Just as my servant Isaiah has walked around naked and barefoot for 3 years, as a sign and omen for Egypt and Cush, So the king of Assyria will lead away the captives of Egypt and the exiles of Cush, both young and old, naked and barefoot with bared buttocks, to Egypt's shame. They will be dismayed and ashamed because of Cush, their hope, and Egypt, their boast. At that time the people who live on this coast will say, "See what has happened to our source of hope to whom we fled for help, expecting to be delivered from the king of Assyria." How can we escape? Isaiah chapter 21, verses 1 to 17, the pronouncement concerning the wilderness of the sea. Like whirlwinds sweeping through the Negev, an invader comes from the wilderness, from a land of terrifying reputation. I received a distressing revelation. The deceiver is being deceived, and the destroyer is being destroyed. Go up, Elam, lay siege Media. I will put an end to all her groaning. Therefore my stomach churns, cramps seize me like the cramps of a woman in labor. I am disturbed by what I hear, horrified by what I see. My heart palpitates, panic overwhelms me. The twilight I looked forward to has become a nightmare to me. Set the dinner table. Watchmen on the tower, eat and drink. Rise up, you officers, smear the shields with oil. Then the watchman called out, O sovereign master, I stand continually at my post by day and at my post by night. Look, here comes a chariot with men, a team of horses. Then he responded, Babylon has fallen, fallen. All the idols of her gods lie shattered on the ground. O my threshed and winnowed people, what I have heard from the Lord who leads armies, the God of Israel, I have reported to you. The pronouncement concerning Duma. One calls to me from Seir, Watchman, how is the night progressing? Watchman, how is the night progressing? The watchman replies, Morning is coming, but night still remains. If you want to ask, come back again. The pronouncement concerning Arabia. In the thickets of Arabia you spend the night, you caravans of Dedanites. O inhabitants of the land of Tema, bring water to meet the thirsty one. For they flee from the swords, from the drawn sword, from the bent bow, and from the heat of battle. For this is what the sovereign master has told me. Within exactly 1 year all the splendor of Kedar will come to an end. The remaining archers, the warriors of Kedar, will be few. For the Lord, the God of Israel, has spoken. Isaiah chapter 22, verses 1 to 25, the pronouncement concerning the valley of vision. What is the matter with you, that you have all gone up to the rooftops? You that are full of noise, you boisterous town, exultant city, your slain are not killed with the sword, nor do they die in battle. All your leaders ran away, they were captured without a shot being fired. All who were found were seized. Though they had fled far away, so I said, Look away from me, I will weep bitterly. Do not try to comfort me about the destruction of my dear people. For the sovereign master, the Lord who leads armies, has planned a day of panic, defeat, and confusion in the valley of vision. They batter the wall and shout for a breach. Elam takes up the quiver with its chariots and infantry. Kir uncovers the shield. Your choicest valleys are full of chariots. Horsemen confidently take their positions at the gate. He looked at Judah's defenses and saw that they were many. He inspected the high places and took stock of the weaponry. You saw that the city of David had many breaches in its defenses. You stored up water in the lower pool. You counted the houses of Jerusalem, and you tore down houses to strengthen the wall. You made a reservoir between the two walls for the water of the old pool, but you did not look to the one who made it. You did not respect the one who planned it long ago. On that day the sovereign master, the Lord who leads armies, called you to weep, to wail, to tear out your hair, and to put on sackcloth. But look, there is happiness and celebration. You kill cattle and slaughter sheep. You eat meat and drink wine. You say, Let's eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. The Lord who leads armies revealed this to me. Surely this sin will not be forgiven you until you die, says the sovereign master, the Lord who leads armies. The sovereign master, the Lord who leads armies, spoke to Shebna, the supervisor of the palace. What right do you have here? Who authorized you to carve out a tomb for yourself here? Look, you are carving out a high place for yourself in the rock. You are building a lofty dwelling place in the rock. Look. The Lord will throw you far away. Yes, he will throw you away like a ball. He will roll you up tightly like a ball and throw you into a wide land. There you will die, and there the chariots you were so proud of will lie, a disgrace to your master's house. I will dismiss you from your position. You will be thrown down from your post. In that day I will summon my servant Eliakim son of Hilkiah. I will clothe him with your robe, tie your sash around him, and transfer your authority to him. He will become a protector of the residents of Jerusalem and of the people of Judah. I will place the key to the house of David on his shoulder. When he opens the door, no one can close it. When he closes the door, no one can open it. I will drive him like a peg into a firm place. He will become a seat of honor for the family of his father. They will hang on him the whole weight of his father's house, the offspring and the offshoots, all the smallest vessels, from the cups to the jars. In that day, says the Lord who leads armies, the peg firmly embedded in a solid place will be removed, and it will fall away. The load hanging on it will be cut off and fall down. The Lord has spoken.